One other side note: I did update the mission log, so that's completely updated, including the finale from the last
Oh,
game.
I should read that. Yeah.
So again, it's not great literature. It's not really proofread, but
It's okay. Thank you.
yep.
No, it doesn't need to be, just enough to get us headed the right direction. So, uh, first, I guess we should say hello to YouTube and Twitch that we're back for session 2 of Mission 2 Rome in the Shadows of Atlantis campaign in Achtung, Cthulhu. These videos, we don't see many watchers on Twitch, but we get some plays on YouTube, which is interesting. I guess there's not a whole lot of actual plays for this game out there, not nearly as much as like Alien or D&D. Of course, D&D, is a whole different animal. But uh, so anyway, we when we left off, you guys your finished up what you had going on in Vienna, and then you hauled ass to Rome. Uh, you were sent there because of a telegram you got from Section D telling you to get to Rome because there was something going on with a couple of agents there that were uh, that were codenamed Lucrezia and Pasquino. Um, you, upon getting to Italy, Rome, you found that the shop that they were supposed to be running, an art supply and stationery shop, was shut down with some sort of note from the Italian secret police hammered to the front of it, to their front door, and you made your way around the back, went inside, found the shop had been completely searched and ransacked, and no sign of the two contacts you're looking for. You found a large number of oak leaves, which I believe it was Walter put together, that oak leaves are used to pass messages by using a needle to make an impression in the oak leaf. And then you either hold it up to a bright light source or some sort of contrasting powder so that you can actually see what the message is. There were oak leaves everywhere here, but none of them had any messages on them. You have a Let's see, what else do you have? You have a map. You have a guidebook to Rome. What else? What else do we know? Is that about it?
As I recall, it was a pretty good summation. Yeah,
Yeah, you do. You did use a truth, unless I'm mistaken. You did use a truth to give you guys a safe house at a Catholic rectory, I believe.
that's right.
Yeah, so that you have a place that you can retreat back to. And Yeah, you guys are inside the shop right now. You haven't really found much else of any use. Slim noticed that there was an OVRA agent outside, the secret police, but he hadn't noticed you guys yet, and you were trying to decide what your next step was.
All right, so Slim is like sort of peeking through, uh, maybe like a postcard uh, side stack, right? Like looking through with this OVR agent, and he's like whispering back to the boys, and he's like, "Hey, hey, they're out here. What are we doing? We gotta get a move on."
So I look around nervously as well. Maybe joining the window. Do we have any doorways from besides the front door to go through? I would imagine there's a
Well,
back door.
you came in through the back,
Back door. We went through the back door. Okay, and in the front door, that's where we see the agent, right?
right? He's out in the street, looking around,
Uh,
as it were.
I'll go and just take a very stealthy look at the way we came in to see if anybody's there.
No.
All right, what parts of this place haven't we flipped yet? Because I know we did a deep search of like the main room and the back room, right? And then we found the oak leaves.
Right. There was basically just the two rooms to the place.
Gotcha. Can anyone read the oak leaves?
Yeah, you already determined that there were no messages on these oak leaves.
Okay,
As yet unused.
gotcha.
Oh, and somebody, I don't remember who made this connection, but I remember it being mentioned. Somebody did, maybe it had to do with the guidebook, I don't recall, but somebody made the connection that the code names of the two Section D people that are missing, the two Section D agents, Pasquino and Lucrezia, are also the names of two of Rome's, talking statues.
Yeah, it was it uh it I think it sounded familiar, but there one of the things in the shop I thought you said were picture postcards,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
one of the picture postcards actually has a picture of the statues.
Yeah, there's a total of six of them across Rome.
What is a talking statue?
They're well, if you open your handy dandy Fodor's guidebook, or whoever printed this particular guidebook, the talking
Hmm.
statues are they're they're almost mini shrines. They're just what they sound like. They're statues that a lot of times people come and they often are parts of fountains or have fountains near them. People come, they make small coin offerings and stuff like that to them. Uh, you might almost say like a wishing well type situation. Probably a bit more religious than that, but
I'm reading the Wikipedia here. The
May
talking
I add something?
statues of Rome provided an outlet for a form of anonymous political expression in Rome. Criticisms in the form of poems or witticisms were posted on well-known statues in Rome. It's like an early bulletin board.
yeah, that part of it is probably a bit repressed right now because of the regime.
Sure, sure.
All right. So we've got two missing agents that have the exact names of two of the talking statues. I mean, does anybody have knowledge of Italian enough that these names are very common or not? I mean, is this something that we need to make a big connection with?
Well, um, I think that the fact that our agents are named after two of the statues, and we've seen a postcard, and I'm sure that because they're such well-known tourist locations, we could find them. To be honest, I think that's those are the only clues we have left.
Right.
Do you think they make message drops at these statues? So if Lucretia wanted to get in touch with her handlers or whatever, she would go to the Lucretia statue. In
It's
other words,
it's possible. I think that we should go and look for anything like that, and also keep in mind that besides the Lucretia and Pasquino statues, I think there's four more. Aren't there
I was
six?
going to say there might be more agents named after the rest of the statues. I assume there's more. I don't know how many there are.
um, you know the I would simply tell you that a brief look through the guidebook tells you that there's a total of six of the statues. There are doo, 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 doo. There is the Palazzo Venezia. I'm sorry. There is the Madame Lucrezia statue, which is literally right outside the main doors to the Palazzo Venezia, which is Mussolini's headquarters. Um, there's a statue called Marforio, which is also in a courtyard within Mussolini's palazzo.
Mm,
Um, the the Pasquino statue is probably a little more accessible. Now that being said, the two statues being outside and inside Mussolini's palazzo, these are still tourist attractions. There's still people coming in and out to see them. It just you understand you're literally walking into maybe the belly of the beast, as it were. The Pasquino statue um, is much easier to access. It's not in any high security place like that. In fact, all the other four are easy to reach. The other four are Pesquino, El Babuino, or Babuino. I'm not sure how that's pronounced because I don't speak Italian. I don't speak Italian. Like I said, third best. So anyway, but yeah, the other four are certainly much easier to access.
Right, so that we don't, yeah, those wouldn't be great dead drop locations if right next to Mussolini's compound. So if that's what they're kind of used for, I guess my suggestion would be at a minimum we just go to those statues and check them out. I don't know that there's going to be anything there, but it's right. So those are the clues that we have.
It's
I
the
agree
only
with that.
one we got.
Well, is there an upstairs to this building?
There is, but not that you have access on this lower level.
Okay. I'm just thinking from a Sphinx Reading Club perspective. Have we covered our bases?
Yeah.
But it
For
sounds like we
sure.
pretty much exhausted it.
Pasquino, Madame Lucrezia, Marforio, Abbot Luigi, Il Babuino, and Il Facino, if you want to know the name of the exact six.
Okay.
But it's, like I said, it's Pasquino and I'm sorry, it's Marforio and Lucrezia are the two that are actually, like I said, in or right outside Mussolini's headquarters.
Oh no, wait. So one of them is
One of
no
them's actually inside Mussolini's, in a courtyard
of,
inside Mussolini's palace, and the other's right outside the main doors.
but those aren't the two that the guys are named after, is it?
One of them is Lucrezia.
Oh
Lucretia
well,
is
like,
outside,
Lucrezia is the one right outside the main door,
and Marforio is inside.
and Marforio is
right.
inside.
And then Pasquini is somewhere else.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking at my Italian guidebook named Wikipedia. They show pictures. They're very cool. Okay. Um, how about we go to the one that's the Pasquino one? What do you think, you
Works
guys?
works for me.
I mean, into the funnel we go.
All right.
And
The
it's located in Piazza of the same name
it is. It is
in the
located.
northwest.
Yeah. So it's let me pull up my non-player friendly map of Rome, which is turned landscape, and yet once you turn it landscape so that you can read it, it's anyway, it's annoying. Once you turn it landscape so that you can read it, you're not facing north. It's really
No.
obnoxious. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's fine. Uh, it's based on where you're currently located and your between the map and guidebook you have, it's probably a 3 kilometer hike across the city. It's not terrible. I mean, if you guys want to hike it, I don't really have a problem with that. And we can fast forward to that as you guys press through the crowds of Rome. Um, the statue itself is there's too many things I have to flip through sometimes, man. Let me tell you. Um,
Who has the guidebook?
who does have the guidebook?
Well, I can't read Italian, so well, I guess it's not in
Guidebook's
Italian, right?
in
Yeah,
yeah, it's in
yeah,
English. Yeah.
yeah.
All I'm saying is
Uh,
we should brandish the guidebook and act the typical goofy tourists.
so I won't take it because later on I'll probably be pretending I'm blind, so that wouldn't be appropriate if somebody saw me twice.
Hilarious.
It's fine. Sink can take it if you guys want. Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, I don't care who has it. I'm just saying that we should be conferring with the guidebook as we walk around Rome, looking all agog like stupid tourists, which we partially are,
To some
right?
extent. So the statue of Pasquino is in a. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Pasquino or Pasquino, but neither here nor there. It's in a piazza that, as we already know, is of the same name. The It's a stone statue that is missing arms. It's a statue of a fit looking man, typical Hellenistic style, and from the standpoint that he's got some sort of clothing on, maybe a toga that exposes part of his chest. The face is mostly worn away. The statue of the man himself is on sort of a pedestal of the same stone. Um, there, Other than that, there's not much here. Your guidebook mentions that it's typically a place where people leave notes, especially uh, political uh, concerns or criticisms. But at first glance, there's not a whole lot here.
Gentlemen, you see any them there leaves?
Right, right. Anything like that around? I mean, other than
You can make an inside observation with sight as a focus if you like.
okay. I think I have a good
Call
talent
it
for that, and I'll.
difficulty one.
Uh, so we got. So yeah, insight with sight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look at you go.
Relations and yes, difficulty one.
So yeah, you both definitely note there's you don't really see you don't see any oak leaves whatsoever. In fact, there there doesn't seem to be anything of real note here. There are obviously quite a few tourists and whatnot. There is not there's not anything that looks like an oak leaf. However, there are a number of people that are around the piazza in general that seem to be keeping a very close eye on everyone who walks in.
Mm, okay. Um, is the statue actually being used, like you said, because of the crackdown? Are there any notes near
It
it or on
doesn't.
it?
It there are a handful of notes on the statue, but obviously none of you speak Italian, so or read Italian.
Right.
But it
Mm,
yeah, it doesn't put it to you this way. I mean, versus the picture in the guidebook, it doesn't seem that it's being used that heavily. Is the best way to put it.
got it. Got it. What's around there? Anything? I mean, is it buildings? Is this a courtyard? Is it?
It's kind of a wide plaza,
Uh-huh.
surrounded by stone walls, uh, and then beyond that are more of typical Rome. Houses next to shrines, next to businesses, next to houses.
Right.
Rome, like many cities in Europe, is seems to be laid out or built with little rhyme or reason.
Mm,
What is the nature of the people that are, sort of like keeping a watch here? Are they uniformed? Are they?
They're not
Oh,
uniform, but they're all wearing suits.
ah,
I mean, you guys spotted them very easily. They may as well have held up a sign that said, "We're secret police."
all
Well,
right.
yeah,
Well,
they're obviously looking to eyeball anyone who puts a note on the on or around the statue. They don't. I don't imagine they like dissidents. Um,
Well, we better play our tourist game pretty well. Of course, if you need a distraction, that could be arranged.
Well, since you're playing the tourist game, and because Khan is the one with the guidebook, how about I ask Khan to make a roll? That would be, let's see here. Probably it would probably be will plus persuasion. And do you have any focuses in persuasion, Khan?
Yes, I have deceive.
Oh, that's perfect, actually. Yeah. So make a will plus persuasion with deceive as your focus, difficulty one.
There we go.
Hooray!
So, yeah, again, Khan probably gets a little bit of side eye. The rest of you, maybe not Slim as much with his open mouthed Americanness, but uh, the rest of you can more or less blend in as being European on some level. Khan, not so much, but between the guidebook and his obvious use of it, and looking more at the guidebook than he is where he's walking, uh, no one really seems to be paying too much attention to you.
I'm stumped here.
Well, is this? I wonder if there is a like a cafe or something that we could, uh, sort of post up at and watch the site for a little bit, or watch comings and goings.
I'm sure you guys could do that if you wanted to.
Hey, let's review again. What are we've got the clue that the statues match the missing agents. What else do we have? There were some articles we picked up, weren't there? Some items.
I don't think
I
anything.
don't think so.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
mean,
let me. I'm sorry.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say. I mean, I know Walter. I know you picked up some of the oak leaves out of the place, just shoved a few in your pockets. But other
Right.
than that, yeah.
Yeah, I did. And remind me about the bundle with the small statue and the black stone and all that. That was the
Oh,
session previous.
Yeah, that was the end of Vienna. You guys gave
Right.
that to Ernst
Yeah,
Fritzsche,
that's right. We did give that away.
but
Okay.
you know
all right.
of its existence. So
So
Yes.
player Kyle has an idea here. I don't think Slim picks up on this though.
Okay.
But let me read back this mission briefing here for a second. Pasquino has lost his voice. His dearest Lucretia is concerned for his health. There are too many sausages in the pantry. Please come here and help your sister. She cannot run the family restaurant alone. So what Kyle takes from that is that Pasquino has been compromised, that drop site, and uh, maybe we should be looking at his sister.
Well, I think that's the next place to go because we didn't spot anything obvious here.
Right. This one just happens to be the one that's a safe distance from Mussolini. The other one's close, so that's
yeah.
why we went here first. So we could go there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's get on with it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
How far from here to there,
That's a
according to our little goofy tourist map?
well, give me 1 second. I will give you the answer to that because I have to look at my goofy map and then turn it sideways and then think. I got to I got to turn it counterclockwise. Then I got to think clockwise. The it
Making me
it
dizzy.
yeah, right. It is you've got to cross the river Tiber. Um, which is a little over a half kilometer. Well, there's multiple crossings. The fastest way would be to the fastest way would be to where? God, this map is not easy. Oh, there it is. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. You don't have to cross the River Tiber. You have to go about 1 kilometer east.
Oh, geez, not even a mile.
Yeah, yeah, maybe just over a kilometer, but very close to that. Yep, yep, yep.
What
It's not far.
All right.
what
Let
time of year is it?
It's early September,
Okay.
so it's still fairly warm. I would imagine in Rome.
Oh yeah.
All right, we can hoof it, I guess. Let's go.
Let's
All
get
right.
sweaty.
All right. Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, it's even with the traffic in Rome, it's not far. I mean, it's again, it's just over a kilometer. So, what does that take you guys? 10 minutes, maybe, on the high end. 12. Um, the uh, the there we go.
May
The
Slim watch so that we're not being followed by guys in suits?
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
I will use my talent,
Yeah, good idea.
All
which is
right.
constantly watching. Whenever you attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make that skill test. Inside observation. You can use either sight or instincts.
Okay. And can I assist him, or do you want me to make my own?
No, you can assist him. Go ahead and roll 1d20.
Okay.
Difficulty, I missed it if you said
It'll
it.
be 0.
9. So that's what, inside
Yeah.
observation?
Momentum, baby.
10, observation 12.
3 bonus momentum. Nice.
So
Does
that's a
that count?
Oh yeah.
Free
Yeah.
momentum. Jeez.
And Slim was successful too, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
So
With the
that's four
assist.
momentum total. The Yeah, it does not look like you're being followed. There doesn't seem to be anything that indicates you're being followed at all.
Awesome.
Um, Now where did my? I've got so many tabs open. This is getting out of control. Sorry, guys. The uh, the Palazzo de Venezia. It's it's a huge palace complex. It's built out of different types of materials depending on what era it was built in. There's a large rectangular brick building. There's other buildings that are made out of granite, some that are made out of limestone. It's again, it's a large complex depending on what era it was built in. There is a, and I'm sure if you wanted to, you could Google this. It's got a huge piazza on the outside of it that has the kind of the image that that everyone's seen if they've ever watched a movie like Gladiator. The giant wide white steps that go up and split either direction as they lead up towards part of the palace. Now the
Aren't we
statue
also aren't we also near the Basilica of Saint Mark?
you are
Oh, okay.
you absolutely should be if I'm reading my map correctly. The Where's the basilica? Right. Yeah, it mentions it, but it doesn't show me on the map, so I'm not exactly sure how far away it is. But it can't be
Oh,
far.
I was looking at a different map, and all I see are labels, but
Right.
you can't tell
Yeah.
buildings. Okay.
But the the statue of Lucretia is actually on the is actually outside the main doors. There are police everywhere, and you're sure there are secret police in the area. There's also a handful of German soldiers in the area as well, which is a little interesting.
Yeah, given the date.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Too many sausages.
Can we tell their ranks?
Oh yeah. They're all enlisted men.
Okay.
Yeah, all private, corporal, or equivalent. Nothing. Certainly no officers running around that you see. There might be an NCO here or there.
Well, that's interesting in itself too. Just that means there's a garrison or something nearby.
Do we see the statue, Lucretia?
Yeah, the
Okay.
statue of Lucretia it's interesting. They don't tell me how tall it is.
Well,
It's
you can look at a picture on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's got to be a good 5 or 6 feet tall. Because that's what I did too. Because it didn't tell me much. Oh, it's 3 meters. Okay, so it's a huge bust of a woman. Um, uh, on top of on top of a base that looks vaguely like an altar. It is, and it's 3 meters tall. So that's pretty tall. Give or take 9 feet, almost 10. The
9.9 to be exact.
Correct. It's but yeah, it's a weather worn and beaten statue. According to the guidebook, it was originally created in the 15th century, and it was posted publicly in the 16th century, and that's about that.
So I imagine Slim like sort of saunters up. I don't know if anyone else is with him, but he has this perplexed look, and he looks over at Singh and he says, "What what a homely gal." And he like kind of like bends over a little bit and like looks as though he's like inspecting the statue and he's looking for any leaves or anything written.
Sure.
Beauty is said to be in the eye of the beholder, but perhaps this artist was blind.
Damn.
You're right about that, sir.
Yeah, the guidebook I believe would also tell you that the statue is believed to be a depiction of Isis or perhaps one of Isis's priestesses. But yeah, it's again it's a bit of a worn and beaten statue. But there doesn't seem to be much here. There's some coin offerings at the base of the bust of the altar itself. But certainly no oak leaves.
Oh shit! I just realized I had Sharif muted. So I'm like, who's talking? And because you're responding to Khan. Crap. Okay, I didn't hear that. Sorry, Sharif. I was wondering where you were at. Um, any while he's looking at that, is there a restaurant that's nearest to this area?
I'm sure there's something nearby.
Is there something that like I can see from the statue? Like it's
Yeah,
obviously
yeah. Maybe a
is there
few
anything of note?
in terms of like a restaurant.
Well, I mean, what's the name of it? If
Oh, I don't know.
oh, okay. Well, you just answered my question. Okay.
Yeah.
You just answered my question because we were supposed to go help her at the restaurant. So I was like, well, maybe there's a restaurant
Oh,
near
I
this
gotcha.
plaza
I
here.
gotcha. Oh, yeah, I
And
see. Little meta
so if you,
information there, huh?
yeah, I teased it out of you with my inspector skills.
That's
It's
right.
Cafe di Pizza Italiano.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought that might be a lead, but it's not. So, uh, and we're right in the shadow of Mussolini here, right?
You are. Very much so.
Uh, I wonder if we can catch one of his speeches while we're here.
Oh, God.
That would be like one time when I was in Rome.
Well, I think we
Uh,
gotta. I mean, we will act as touristy as possible. Like I'm peeking over Slim's or not Slim's, so peeking over Singh's shoulder to read the guidebook, and trying to look bemused. Although I suppose Slim is bemused, and we'll linger for a little bit, enough to see the sight, but I don't think enough to draw suspicion since we're sort of in the shadow of Mussolini here.
O.J. Simpson passed away.
Who?
O.J. Simpson.
OJ.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
He was 76.
that's
Yeah,
not very,
yeah,
that's not really that old.
No. Oh,
yeah.
anyway. Sorry about that. I just came across my news feed and I was like, oh shit.
That's okay. I don't know how to feel about that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I think most people are going to be at, right?
It's like,
Slim hops in his white
uh,
Bronco, takes off.
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Scenes from my childhood for 400, Alex.
Oh God, yeah, I remember watching that. That's crazy. Okay, we're not gonna get derailed by that.
No.
So,
Um,
so Slim like sort of whispers, not whispers, but sort of talks quietly to the inspector next to him, and he says, "Inspector, you got any hot ideas about this here statue? I ain't seeing shit."
Marty, it's not really possible for us to like give this thing the once over without looking suspicious, is it?
Um, the answer to that question is it will require it would require an insight observation test at difficulty 1, but your complication range is going to increase because you're in a group and you're in a. Actually, considering where you're at, it's going to be difficulty 2, and your complication range is going to be much higher. If you roll a 17 through 20, you would get a complication.
Well, let me
I
ask,
say we go for it.
how
Use
much
some of this momentum.
how much effort how much effort are we gonna have to put into this? Because maybe Slim could do a distraction.
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you, buddy.
Maybe I don't know. Even even a clumsy American oaf falling down the steps of the piazza might get everyone's attention while we do an inspection.
You want I should draw him off, Baker?
Well, I'm asking what you guys think.
we get
Absolutely. And
like,
he tries to pull the guidebook from Singh's hand.
Well, hold on one sec.
Oh, okay.
Hold on one sec. The people who were taking, the people whose attention we'd be taking are the Germans. Probably not the best idea. Now that I think about it,
Oh,
right?
I was going
well,
more for the secret police, but
yeah, right. It's a secret.
Like we're actually calling attention onto ourselves.
Why do we care about the Germans at the moment?
Well, and they're enlisted guys, so I don't know that.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know. I understand what you're saying. It's I mean, if we were, I don't know how this would work. It would spend me for the day. But with all the momentum we have, I could see the history of this statue and who's been there and who's going up and leaving things or whatever. But that would probably, I don't know if there would be information that would be valuable that would come out of it, but that would probably take me out for the afternoon.
I love this idea, personally. I think that's has way more potential to actually be useful than just searching it. You know what I mean? Plus, it looks like nothing. You're just standing in front of it, right?
Yeah, maybe laying a hand on it or something, which I'm sure other people do. I don't know how that. I don't think I would. I don't know if I have to touch it.
No, it just has to be in close range.
And then we would have to spend how much momentum? I think 3 or 4.
I think
or
we should
maybe
make this
more.
the object of the scene, and you should use all the momentum because we really need info bad.
Yeah, we're kind of treading water here.
All right, before we do that, let me ask a different question. The statue of Marforio
Inside.
is inside.
Yeah.
Are there any tourists going in or out, or is that
There are Italian soldiers actually guarding the entrance, and there's a number inside as well. And surely there's going to be other police inside as well.
well? Don't call me Shirley, but
Yeah.
what I meant
It's-
what I meant was Are there tourists going in to see it?
There are.
Oh, okay. Um,
All right, I'll draw them off. You do your psychic stuff.
Yeah. You don't have to make too much of a distraction. Just maybe, I don't know. I don't know how long I have to stand here, but
well,
um,
you can always just make it look like you're stepping close to contemplate a
right, yeah,
beautiful
because I
piece
don't have
of
to
art,
touch
right?
it. Right. So here's maybe some stuff we can do before I do this to make it more fruitful. We've never seen pictures of these two agents.
No.
No.
So are we? The mission is that the cryptic mission is that they've disappeared and there's Germans there, right? And like whatever else. I mean, what
Well,
is the literal message of?
the cryptic message came. It was believed came from the agent whose code name is Lucrezia. Of course, when you went to her shop, excuse me, the shop where she's supposed to be, that's when you found the place, boarded up and ransacked. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, the message, as Kyle pointed out, the message implied that Pasquino has disappeared or is no longer sending or receiving messages or has been taken or something. You're not, obviously he's not in the game anymore. To what extent, you're not sure. But again,
But not her
well, going to the shop again, her place had been ransacked. So
ransacked. So
yeah,
we
you
don't.
don't know.
We don't know if someone took her or if she ran away to get away from somebody or whatever, but
Right, there was a
obviously,
message posted from the OVRA on her shop where it was boarded shut. So
Right.
you don't know the contents of the message because none of you read or speak Italian, but you kind of just drew the conclusion that the place was shut down by the secret police. Now, what happened to her, you don't know, obviously.
Right. I mean, is this the right place to do this then? I mean, maybe we should have done it at the shop, see who took her, or I don't know. I mean, is because I'm expecting if I do like a historical remote view of this place, there's going to be, I'm going to be overloaded with thousands of tourists coming up to it and kind of like in a fast forward or fast reverse kind of
Yeah, and there are
stream of consciousness.
there are four other statues in the city as well. There's six
Right.
total.
These,
This is
yeah.
only the first two.
yeah, but those are the two that are named after,
True.
which that's kind of a maybe it's just a coincidence, but I would think it would mean something more. At least those are only. I don't know. Help me out here, guys. What do you? Because we're going to burn quite a bit of momentum, and we could create a truth, I suppose, that one of us had seen what these agents look like physically, and then I can keep an eye out for that if I remote view. But without knowing what they look like, what am I looking for?
Yeah, you have four momentum.
Yeah, momentum's there to be burned, man, and I'm about to.
You're about to
Yeah,
do your thing.
I'm about to do my thing. So,
Well,
uh,
let me ask you this.
yeah,
Help me out with what I'm looking for if I do this. I kind of threw it out there that I could do it, but I'm not even sure like what besides seeing tourists come up and back and seeing day and night, pass, what is what is the thing that we're looking for? Somebody getting abducted in front of the statue, or if it's somebody leaving a note or a leaf, then it would help to know what that person looks like. Well, it's probably
right.
essential to know what that person looks like because otherwise you don't really get any info. I don't know. I'm I'm devil advocating my own idea here. So
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard to have like a definitive lead based off of what you're talking about. Although I do think we're going to get some good information.
you do. What does everybody else say? I mean, I guess we're having this conversation in open out here. I don't know. um,
Yeah, I think if you guys want to discuss this in more detail in character, it would make sense to not be doing it right there in front of the
right,
statue.
right there in front of this thing, and
So
um, Okay, well, I mean, do we want to do it at this location? We want to do it someplace else. I mean, if we do it back at the bookstore, there's a chance we see who ransacked and if there was somebody there, if they abducted them and what they took physically from the store. I would that would give us information, but I don't know that that's useful either. I know we're hemming and hawing too much. You ruined us with Alien RPG at the beginning.
Mm,
Well, um,
Uh,
that
how
this
many? Go ahead.
I was just going to say this will ruin you for the day, and it's a pretty it's a pretty big spend for us. Um, would it make sense just to meander over to um, the other statue and the Marforio statue and just see what we could see before we decide
That's
on making a big spend?
yeah.
Or like you
Yeah.
said, is there a truth? What does it take to invoke a truth again?
to create a truth is 2 momentum.
Two momentum.
Which that means I can't do.
Oh yeah. Well, if we
Yeah.
invoke a truth, well, and I'm not sure I want to use one of my fortune points at the moment either. It's a little early in the game.
We didn't see any oak leaves around, right? We were ready to look
No,
for
you
that.
did not.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
does it hurt to look at the other statue before we decide what we're going to do? It's just a few steps away.
sure. Might as well wander over there like tourists, and we can come back here.
Well, you three are about as exciting as a mashed potato sandwich. And he throws up his arms and he follows you with his characteristic petulance.
Um, all right, I've got a mechanics question.
Okay.
Um, I can use a fortune point to invoke a truth. Is that correct?
Um,
Can I or not?
what exactly are you trying to do?
I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm trying to set myself up for future encounters with the Germans. So what I'm thinking about doing is um, I want to say that um, Baker, because of his background, has a German passport.
Oh. Um, yeah, basically what you're doing is you're spending fortune to immediately introduce a new truth for the scene.
Correct.
So yeah, you can do it with a fortune point or you can do it with momentum, either way.
I don't want to use momentum. I want to save that. So I'm not going to do it yet, but um, let's wait and see how the scene plays out. But um, let's wait and see how the scene plays out. But I think that could be handy if I need to invoke it. Um, that I have a German passport in the name of Heinrich Becker.
Okay.
All right, but I'm going to save that. So guys, I'm saying let's go look at the other statue before we make a big spend. Maybe there's something to see there, and tourists are going in and out, so we should just be. We're just a stupid tourist, Ossifer.
All right, sounds good to me. Although this will be the second time our group is approaching that statue. So,
Which statue?
are we going back to the one we were at, or are we
No,
going
no,
to the
no, no, no. We're going to walk inside to
oh
look
to
at.
Marfo or whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marfino?
Marforio. Go, go,
Lafaria.
go into the belly of the beast.
That's why I asked. But that's why I asked if there were tourists in there.
Yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah.
So it's not. It's not like it's a secure, military or police only thing.
No.
gotcha.
So
So we're just tourists like anybody else, right?
as you guys move in, it
And
kind
right
of
now, Italy's not at war with anybody, right?
not yet. No.
Except maybe North Africa. Are they there in 1939?
I'd have to
I don't
double
remember.
check. I don't. I don't believe
All right.
so. But anyway, neither here nor there. So as you guys move through the open gates, blending in with the crowds, it's the statue is massive. Uh, it is a it's a man kind of laying reclining backward on one arm, and the classical Hellenistic statues with the muscle definition and that type of thing. His upper body is bare, his legs covered by a toga or something along those lines. It's part of a fountain, in fact. He's up on an upraised part, but there's water all around below him, and there's tourists. There's also a few people that come and stop and bow their heads and then drop a small coin into the water with a blip, and then move on. So there's an amount of traffic here. But like I said, the statue is absolutely huge. Your handy dandy guidebook tells you that this is not the original location of the statue. That it's been moved around Rome a few times by different emperors. It was originally made back in the first century, and it's believed to be it's been identified as different people over the years as Oceanus or Jupiter, Neptune, or even the river spirit of the Tiber.
Maybe it's Aquaman.
I don't see a trident, but you never know. Maybe you hadn't gotten the
Maybe,
trident yet.
uh, can you, can we, is this, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts here. Um, the note about the restaurant, do you have that handy or did you send that to us? I just want to read it again just to,
Well, I think Kyle, you put in the story so far, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It's in the last section of the story so
okay.
far.
Yeah. If you
Oh,
scroll down to
okay.
mission 2, there's a quoted section. That's where it's at.
Got it. Okay. The reason I'm asking is I just maybe this area, maybe this is what they're calling the restaurant because the idea is that Lucretio, right?
Lucretia.
Lucretia, Lucretia, needs help at the restaurant, right? Too many sausages around,
Right.
right? Is that what it said? Um, see, I guess. So maybe it's a euphemism for this area with the statue of Marfan or why can't I not
Marforio.
remember that name? Marforio. Let me write that down. And maybe I have the additional talent, or I think it's a talent that once per scene I can ask three questions for two momentum.
Oh yeah, yeah, you do.
Um, So people drop coins in. How about if I
Mm-hmm.
make before I do anything like that, I want to make an uh observation sight roll
Sure,
to look to see if there's anything besides just generic coins inside the
that's fine. Absolutely, you
yeah.
can do that. That would inside observation, sight with a focus if you have it. Difficulty 1, um, and anyone who wants to do so can add a die to the roll if you're also looking. Oh boy.
Oh, for God's sakes, come on now. Really? Uh, I'm a damn inspector and I can't inspect a fountain for fuck's sake. I mean,
Well, you can
jeez.
you can succeed at a cost and whatnot, right? Or or
Somebody else
or
want to
like
look around? I guess I don't see anything. I mean, I don't know.
Um,
I,
or you can't you like increase threat to or something like that?
well,
well, who?
because the roll's already happened, your only
Yeah.
option at this point would be to you could spend a fortune point to completely re-roll. There is succeed at a cost, but I don't think that applies in this situation. because succeed at a cost means you automatically succeed, but as there's a
All
very
right.
legitimate cost to the situation. Unfortunately, he's already rolled, so
Yeah, but
I
hold it.
I was basically trying to do it without spending any momentum. Doing the detailed analysis. I
Yeah.
was doing the observation first, just to see if we could get it for free. And
Well,
but
what I was wondering was he said someone could aid. So if someone throws one die and gets a success, we still succeed, right?
yeah, yeah. I'll let
So
one of you aid. Absolutely.
who's got?
Inside check, right?
Inside observation. Yep.
Yeah, that would be me. Okay, let me check it. Dice 1
Yeah, you would get just
One
one die,
one
difficulty one.
d20.
and focus supplies for
Sight,
observation.
if you have
Sight,
sight.
okay.
Yeah.
So no. Difficulty 1.
okay.
Look at
I
you.
am a trained observer, Master Pilecki.
Yeah. Sing
As you are.
in down just in front of the at the front of the pool of water. Uh, or I should say, in the pool of water, right in front of the statue. Uh, Mixed a bunch amongst many of the different coins. There is what looks like a green leaf.
I'll just pluck
Slim,
it.
this might be your chance to create a distraction by swimming over and grabbing the leaf.
Wait, I thought you said it was in the front. Could we reach it
Oh,
or
it's
no?
in the front.
Well,
Okay.
it's within reach. It's down in the water.
Oh, I'll just
Right,
I
and
got it.
someone will observe us if someone reaches in. If nothing else, they're saying they're going to think you're stealing coins.
Unless you accidentally drop the guidebook
is Slim
into the
smoking right
water
now?
and
Yeah, or I was.
You
That's a good one. I
Is
was thinking
is
you
Slim
want
drop
me to
smoking?
draw them off?
going to pull some coins to throw a coin in the fountain and dropping a bill into the water. No one would
right,
think twice about you pulling a bill back out.
right.
Hey,
Who's good with
singing.
deceit
Let me
again?
see that guidebook right there.
All right, so that's what you're
Just
doing, Slim. You're kind of going to reach for the guidebook, and what happens?
oh no no no. But is Sing going to give him the guidebook?
Oh, of course.
All right. So he grabs it, completely ignores the you three gentlemen, and then where's the there's guards at the door,
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
or they're like
as well as guards at other doorways in the courtyard that go to other parts of the palace.
all right. So I'm gonna go off to like one of these groups of guards, and he's flipping through the page. He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he strolls up, and he's flipping through pages like going back and forth, and he looks perplexed. Takes a drag off his cigarette, holding it in his fingers as he flips through, and he walks right up to one of these police, and in a loud voice, like people do when they someone else speaks a different language and they think they can get through to them. He, he says, "Scusa me, come faccio trovare il Colosseo." Just to, and then he like takes a drag from his cigarette and then like turns the guidebook around and points at the Colosseum.
At that moment, Sing will reach down and grab the leaf.
All right, so
And
you are creating using hog the spotlight to create a distraction. Is that correct?
that's correct.
All right,
Yeah.
so the first step to that is you have to succeed at a persuasion test,
Okay.
which would be I guess it would be will persuasion.
Okay. This is gonna be bad. All right.
Um, you guys do have 4 momentum. But
All right.
yeah, that would be will plus persuasion. Do you have any focuses in persuasion?
I do not.
Probably don't. Okay.
Um,
But
mhm.
because you're being so obnoxious about it,
Mhm.
I'm going to make it difficulty 0.
Awesome.
So you're going to succeed no matter what. It's just a question of whether or not you generate momentum.
All right.
Oh, look
Success.
at that. So you generated 1 momentum. So now Sing, you're reaching in to grab to grab the leaf, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you're are you just reaching in to grab it, or are you doing some sort of ruse, or how does this work for Sing?
Um, I don't know. He's just quickly as possible.
Okay. All right. So make it. We'll call it agility plus stealth. I don't think you don't have any focuses in that, do you?
No, I
Okay.
mean, if this is like a tricky thing, I don't think Singh would volunteer because he doesn't have a super high agility.
I guess
So
it's
if
a
it's like,
question of if you're doing it, if you're specifically trying to be not spotted doing it. I guess is the best way to put it.
well, I mean, yes, I would prefer to do it in a way that's non-obtrusive, but that's why I was stressing quick
Gotcha.
because I
All
thought
right.
quick was the best way to be non-obtrusive. But it doesn't have to be quick to the point of like if I'm going to fumble it. You know what I mean?
So to make a suggestion, um, Henry's agility is 10 and his stealth is 3 is 13.
And he has urban stealth,
And
doesn't
I
he?
have Ermin stealth, which is a focus.
Yeah, and
Much
you're in
better
an urban
candidate for
environment,
this.
so I think that
Oh,
makes
that'd be
sense. Yeah.
perfect.
Much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I should try and grab it.
It and it's definitely in character for Baker to pull something like that rather than sing anyway. I would think.
Okay, so we're going to do agility, 2 dice. Skill is stealth. Dun, 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 cling. Focus applies. And difficulty 1.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, unless you want to use a fortune point to re-roll that.
I will.
What's that?
I will.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, while we're having that discussion, did you want to buy extra dice? You guys have 5 momentum, or do you want to keep it at 2
Um, I can get 1 extra die for
for 1 momentum? Yeah.
1 momentum. All right, I'll do that. I'll spend 1
Yeah,
momentum.
do that.
All right. So you spent a fortune point to re-roll, and then you've got 3 dice on the roll.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh man.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. So
at least no complication.
Slim, that's true.
Yep.
You did succeed in creating your distraction. Now here's the thing: the guards have a difficulty because of Henry Baker's wonderful rolling. The guards have a difficulty of 0 to notice him doing it. Okay, so in other words, they're going to automatically succeed unless you
Yep.
spend momentum to increase their difficulty. You have 4 momentum.
Yeah, let's spend the momentum. And you're talking about with the talent that I can spend.
Correct. That hog the spotlight, the way it works is when your persuasion roll is successful, you can
Yep.
spend momentum to up the difficulty of their observation.
Okay.
So you've got 4 momentum. How much do you want to spend?
So, okay. So it's not that I can't just do it by 1. I can do it. I can spend as much momentum as I
Yeah,
want,
up to 3.
up
So
to 3.
yeah.
All right, gentlemen. How do you feel about like 2 momentum?
Yes.
Works for me.
Okay.
All right.
All
So
right. So,
you're going to make their difficulty 2.
yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then so Slim, like maybe out of the corner of his eye, he sees Baker, at the fountain, and so he like steps forward with the cigarette, and he's sort of like mumbling through his lips with the cigarette, and he says, "Sto cercando di Travario il Colosseo, amigo." And he's like he's like pointing. He's like very close to this guy.
All right. So nice way to role play that out. I like that. They rolled an 8 and an 18, which gave them 1 success, and they needed 2. So Henry, you don't know what happened. It was not by any means your finest moment, and certainly not what you've spent your whole life learning to do. But Slim is making such a scene with these Italian soldiers or police that no one really notices as you slip your hand in the water and retrieve the oak leaf. It's I mean, and he's making quite a scene. He's getting attention not just from the guards, but also just some of the tourists and people walking through are kind of giving him a look like, what the hell is his deal? What's he all about? What is he even saying? Is he even speaking Italian? Um, and
He is. It's badly butchered.
Yeah, exactly. And the guard Slim, one of them he points back towards the Coliseum and he starts rattling something off that is of course way too fast for you to follow. Realizing that you probably didn't understand what he said, he does the same thing you did. He starts talking very slowly and very loudly, enunciating each word. All right, gentlemen. Uh, Success despite your best efforts.
All right. And so Slim, he's like nodding, and he makes him kind of go through it a few times, and he says, "Grazie, grazie, amigo," and then he like turns back towards the crew, and like he's like, "I found it, I found it."
That's
Oh,
awesome.
hold on one second to. Hold on one second. I gotta do this. Oh man. Uh, you're not sure what he says, but the guy you were talking to finally turns back to his to one of his fellow guards, cohorts, what have you, and he says something you don't know what it means. And if anyone out there speaks Italian, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, but he says something like "stronzo americano," and
Uh,
yeah,
All right, should we?
American asshole, in case anyone was wondering.
Uh,
All right, so I approach the boys, and I'm trying to act like a tourist, and then as I get close to him, I say, "Well, gentlemen, looks like we got a date with the Coliseum. Do you like gladiator movies?"
Have you ever seen a grown man naked? Um,
you know that movie. I didn't know this. Maybe you guys know this, but there was an actual like a serious airliner disaster movie in the 1960s, I think. And Airplane is a beat for beat, even some of the same dialogue, just played straight. And they have a YouTube channel where they put the two side by side, and it's hilarious because there's
was
a
it called
series.
Airport?
Yes,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Was
there
it
was
Airport? I don't know. It might have been something else. I don't
there were a
remember.
series of airport movies, but
There were, but one of them I have to look it up. I saw it on the morning show here, and but anyway, it doesn't
Late
matter.
60s and into the 70s, we loved our disaster movies, Towering
Yeah, we
Inferno and
did.
whatnot.
Earthquake scared the shit out of me, even though I live in the Midwest.
Oh, by the way, since we're talking movies, I'm going to take a quick aside because we're making good progress here. It's only 11:16. Um, have you guys seen the teaser for Alien Romulus?
No,
Yeah,
I gotta
I
check
have
yeah,
that out.
I have
yeah,
not.
Oh, holy shit. It's the best one
yeah,
minute of your life.
yeah. They're definitely. I'm sorry that they actually showed as much as they did. I was kind of hoping for a trailer like the original Alien, where you're like, what the fuck? We don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Fede Alvarez is the guy who directed it, and really the story is mostly of his concoction.
Oh,
He just hit this thing on the head, man.
I hope so. Yeah, it looks like it, right?
Well, and I'm curious to see what the director's cut is going to be because apparently the original movie is like 3 hours and 40 minutes worth of footage, which of course we all know that they do huge amounts of footage, a lot of which gets
Right.
cut, right? but he had both Ridley Scott and James Cameron both screen the movie
Mm-hmm.
prior to working on his director's cut, and
Mm-hmm.
they both had completely different sets of notes.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays
Oh,
out.
oh, yeah, I can't wait. October, right?
No, August.
August. Oh,
August. Yeah, yeah, it's closer than you think.
I'm watching the one
uh,
minute trailer while you guys are talking, and it definitely looks like it's going back to its horror roots,
roots.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
like
Um,
like
I-
monster movie horror.
yeah, I'm really excited. It's probably going to be the best Alien movie since the original two. That's my gut reaction, based on what
Well,
I've
they
seen.
need something to kind of cleanse the palate, because I don't know. It's, Prometheus and Covenant, that's a labor of love to like those movies sometimes. It's like.
Well, I don't know, man. Those I really enjoy those movies.
I do too. It just doesn't give you that same feel as Alien,
It
and
it does not.
I
You're
guess,
right. Prometheus is definitely much more of a
yeah,
philosophical delving. Much like Blade Runner.
right. Yeah, I was just
There's
gonna say that it's not more like the Blade Runner.
yeah. If you just want to watch a movie that's scary and anxiety-inducing and fun, Alien and
Mm-hmm.
Aliens are it. But
Hmm.
Prometheus and even Alien Covenant, there's a lot more
Hmm.
thought involved.
Oh, that's true. That is true. We haven't had a good one that's the haunted house monster movie in a while. So
No, no, that's
yeah,
very true. So I'm
all right.
excited. Anyway, all right, sorry, back to the game. I just had to bring that up. You guys know my
Hmm.
love of those movies.
Oh yeah.
So,
All right. So should we find some place to sit down and take a closer look at this leaf?
exit stage left.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So you guys head out. Um,
Excuse me.
so how would you like to go about this? We'll just let you get a safe distance away from Mussolini's palace and kind of uh, the out of the crowd a little bit, just more back into the just the general crowds of Rome. Um, and you
Are
have
we
this
far
open.
away from the monastery, or?
Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look here. Based on where the palace is, the palace is just as a quick note from my mental map. The palace is halfway between the monastery and because the rail station you came in on is on the eastern side of the city, past the Colosseum. It's northeast
Hmm.
of the Colosseum. The palace is um, the palace is northwest of the Colosseum, probably really smack dab between the monastery and the and the railway. The monastery. You guys picked a monastery that was near Vatican City, didn't you?
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe that's correct. So it's on the other side of the River Tiber.
Okay.
Um, so you're
Um.
probably 3 kilometers away from your quote unquote safe house.
All right. Do we can should I or somebody else make a check to see if we're being followed?
That would be fine if somebody wants to do that. Inside
How many
observation.
times can I use my talent?
Um,
Talent. I think a talent you can use.
unless it
Well,
says
I don't know.
otherwise. Let's see here. Let's see what the let me read your talent real quick. That's the constantly watching, right? Yeah, I
Correct.
don't. That doesn't have a limitation on it. So,
All right. I guess Khan will do it.
all right,
And after he does that, I'm gonna, as long as nobody's watching us, while we're walking, take a look at the leaf
all right.
closely.
So, con that'll be inside observation. Difficulty will be dropped to 0.
Momentum.
All right, very good. 2 successes puts you back up to 4 momentum. No one's specifically paying much attention to you guys. No.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So,
finally.
oh wow.
Yeah, I'm looking specifically for pin dots and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a message needled out over it, and you know you guys are up to 6 momentum. So um, do you want to try to specifically read the message right here, or do you?
I
You
think we
might.
should go somewhere because
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, I would. I Here's my suggestion. I know it would be a hike, but if we could go back, since we know that this is a clue, we could go back to the monastery. We can try to decipher it, and then I can also, use my skill on it, which will wipe me out for the day. But I've been thinking I wanted to go pick up Luca anyway and start my obfuscation of being blind, so that I don't have too many too many people see me looking at a leaf walking down the street and then pretending to be blind.
Makes sense.
Um, does you guys okay with that?
Absolutely.
Sure. Why not?
So,
All
based
right.
on your knowledge of the way this works, there's two real ways to read this. One of them is harder than the other. One would be to put it up against a bright light source and just try to read the light shining through. The other
Hmm.
option would be uh, to take something like a control. Well, there's two other ways. If you could find some sort of contrasting powder, you could work it into where the pinpricks are and then brush the excess off. Or third possibility, which would probably destroy the leaf in the process, but you would at least get the message. The message would be to put the leaf like against a piece of paper and like rub coal up against so that the coal transfers through the pinpricks to the paper underneath it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So, are we back at the monastery? You're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll
Okay.
let
So
you get
yeah.
back.
So right. So I'll go from least to most to destructive first. Maybe put the leaf on a piece of paper and then hold that up to whatever lights in the room or the sunshine coming through the
All right.
um,
Um,
just to provide like a shadow boxing
that's fine.
effect for
We'll
it.
call it we'll call it a reason academia test.
All right. So I
Which
am I'm pretty good at that.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any focuses in academia?
I do occult.
Oh yeah, no good. So just reason
No
academia,
good there.
difficulty one.
It's gonna be so funny if the leaf has nothing on it.
Yeah.
It's just a random leaf.
Yeah, it's just an advertisement for the McDonald's or whatever. No.
Luigi's Pizza.
Red herring.
Yeah. So focus does
Communism
not
was
apply
just
to
a
it.
red herring.
Yeah.
In this case, it would be a green herring.
Yeah. Oh jeez. Oh, I'm sorry. You did roll and succeed. I apologize. I missed it.
I just did it. Yeah.
Yeah. You there's a message punched out in English, and
Oh.
it says, "What lies beneath the truth that bites?" Question mark. And there's something else punched into it. It's not a message. It looks like a face with a large, a large long full face beard with mustache and maybe scraggly hair.
What lies
Hmm.
beneath the truth
What lies behind the truth that
behind?
bites? Question mark.
Hmm. And a face.
And then a face of Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
What? Can you repeat it?
What lies behind the truth that bites? Question mark.
So truth that bites. What kind of truth bites? Okay. Um, well, before we rack our brains for 5 minutes on trying to figure that out, how about if I do the remote viewing on this thing since we got
Yeah,
six,
that's a good
and then
idea.
I can see who dropped it into the water.
All right. Very good.
And I think that would require the three momentum, right? Because that'll gain limited knowledge of the object's past. Additional momentum spent to obtain information may be used to ask questions about the object's history, whether recent or distant. So for three, just as a reminder, I get limited knowledge that the GM wants to give me, and I can burn additional momentum to ask specifics about anything else we wanted to know.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll make myself comfortable, get ready with the migraine medicine, and
You have,
uh,
yeah, and you guys, oh, you guys have 6 momentum. You're maxed out.
right.
Yeah.
So I let everybody know. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be going in here. If you have suggestions, I'm going to try to speak out what I see, and if you have suggestions for any follow up visions, then please, let me know while I'm in the zone. Um, all right. So I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my Johnny Carson thing. Put on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like.
All right, so I guess you have to make your roll from your spell page.
Spell page. That's
Yeah,
right.
you get 2 dice automatically, unless you want to either spend fortune or momentum. That's totally up to you.
Um. Well, no. I'm gonna. We have
You have
six.
6.
Uh, we could always go in and I could always go in and reverse a failure, I suppose, with a fortune point. Um, or not reverse it, but a re-roll. So okay, I'm just gonna roll. Well, so three. I'll add one dice. How's
Okay.
that?
All right.
I'll do one dice, and so that's three dice. Now that'll leave us. No, that's four dice. No, three dice,
That's three
and
dice.
that's four momentum. That'll leave us with two questions, right?
Um, well, if you're it'll leave it'll leave you with 2 momentum total, because if you're
Two
spending
momentum
one
if I
for the
wanted to
extra
do.
die and then
Right.
using the 3 to check the history, so that'll leave you with 2. Of course, we may well first steps first is to make the roll. So
Yeah.
you have
Okay.
six
Here I
momentum.
go.
If you're spending 1 momentum to get an extra die, that puts you to 5. After you, sir.
Okay. So focus applies on this, or
Yes.
because I have sight and okay
Well, because it's a spell,
difficulty.
so you're
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, difficulty two.
Difficulty is 2.
What the hell?
Man.
Oh boy.
So the
All right.
question is, do you want to burn a fortune point to reroll?
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Wow.
This time only two dice.
No, it I think it lets
Or does
you.
that give me
I
three?
think it says it lets you reroll all d20s.
Well, so it's as if you're re-rolling the.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes
you
sense.
can.
Okay.
Yeah. You can
Oh,
reroll
okay.
all of them.
That's okay.
Actually, no.
So I
Wait.
will.
Stop. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Stop. Come back. Um,
Yeah.
may be spent to reroll any number of dice in the character's dice pool. So, in other words, you can keep the 1 die that was a success and just reroll the 2 that failed.
Oh, that's even better.
That is even better.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So
that's
that's what I'm
something
doing.
important for us to remember. Because I don't think it would have
Okay.
mattered on Baker's roll, but it's something for us to keep in mind.
Right. Okay.
So just
So
roll two
focus.
dice on
Yes.
your new roll.
What the hell?
Well, no, you had a success though, plus the one
Well,
success from earlier, so that's two
Oh, I
successes.
did.
Yeah,
So it
so you
is two.
make it.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah. So
Okay.
you're
God
good.
damn.
You're good.
Okay. All right.
Um, all right. So you. So what's the plan here now? So you're successful at your remote viewing.
I'm successful to gain limited history of it from you, and then we could ask additional follow-ups, spending a momentum each time for the follow-ups.
Okay. Are you doing the 3 momentum spend where you see the?
It's the yes,
Okay, so you're spending 3 momentum to see a brief history of it.
yeah, gain limited knowledge of the past of the object's past, hoping to see who dropped it in there.
Okay, so yeah, it's all very quick, and it's kind of like in if you're watching a VHS tape and fast forward. Not that VHS exists in this time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
The you see a woman. She's semi-attractive, curly brown hair, dark brown hair, and brown eyes. Uh, uh, kind of an olive skin tone. You would assume probably she's Italian just based on what she looks like. She's sitting in a small room that has two beds in it, and you recognize the room from the from the back room of the shop, right? And
Right.
she's using a small pin to punch holes in this leaf, and you're sure it's the one that you're holding in your hand. Um, it kind of speeds forward, and she gathers a couple things and goes out the back door of the shop, and she makes her way through the city until she gets to Mussolini's palace. She goes right by the Lucretia statue outside, walks up to the Marforio statue, bows her head, and drops the leaf in with a couple of coins. And that's where you lose it.
Okay. As I'm seeing this, I'm narrating it to the group. If anybody wants to punch in with a question, but I do have one question. When she's punching the leaf in her back room,
Hmm.
so this is burning one momentum. When she's punching the leaf in the back room, is she using a photograph for reference to make the face on the leaf?
No, it doesn't look like it. She's
So
doing it
she's
from
doing it
memory.
from memory. Okay.
Describe the face again.
The face is it's you get the it's not completely punched out, but you get the impression of you get the impression of a lot of shaggy, unkempt hair, as well as a large, full beard, long, full beard with mustache that's also
Okay.
not well
Who's
kept.
who's got the guidebook? Slim, do you have the guidebook?
I probably do. Yeah.
Uh, I'd like to. I'd like to see the guidebook, please, Slim.
Sure thing, Mr. Baker.
All right. I'm going to start flipping through the guidebook, and I'm going to look and see if I can find a picture that's similar to the leaf
Okay.
of the guy.
All right, so you're flipping through quickly, trying to. I gotcha. So, I guess we'd probably call that insight observation with a sight focus if you have it.
Okay.
And yeah, you guys do have one more momentum if you have an additional question you want to ask about the remote viewing before Walter loses it.
Oh, say, Pilecki, what's she wearing?
Would I be able to answer that without burning momentum?
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
I'm just joshing you.
Oh wow!
That's it.
Holy crap, Baker. Well,
Oh
Baker
man.
just generated you back a
Wow.
whole bunch more momentum. Yeah, yeah. Baker, as you flip through, you realize, um, you realize that it does have a slight resemblance to the statue of Marforio, um, but it seems a lot it seems a lot shaggier, I guess is the best way to put it. And then as you're flipping through, you see something that catches your eye, and you stop and you flip right back to it. And
It wouldn't happen to be the Boca della Verite, would it?
it would be the Boccia della Verita.
Boca
Yeah,
della Verita.
yeah. Um, that's impressive. How did you come up with that? I'm just curious.
I'm sorry?
I said that's impressive. How did you just happen to come up with that?
Unfortunately, it's a little bit of metagaming.
You've been there.
Um, Not exactly, but
Oh, okay.
This is the Boca de Verita.
Boccia della
della
Verita.
Boca
Okay.
della Verita.
Cool.
Which the guidebook informs you is called the well, it's the mouth of truth, literally translated. It is a it is a it's called a mask, even though it's it's almost 6 feet tall, and it's carved from stone. And there's some question as to who the mask represents. There's a lot of people that think it's the true face of Oceanus or Marforio, or again the spirit of the river Tiber, similar to the statue of Marforio. But the legend is that if someone sticks their hand into the open mouth and tells a lie, their hand will be bitten off.
Whoa.
Oh, that's it then. That's the biggie clue.
Um, yeah, yeah, and you know where it is. Obviously, the guidebook tells you where to go find it, right? It's from where you guys are, because you guys went back to the safe house. It's well south. It's about a kilometer and a half south of Mussolini's palace. So from where you guys are, you would cross the river, and then the easiest thing to do would just be to follow the river south southeast till you got to it. It's gonna, it's probably 4 or 5 kilometers.
Pilecki.
Okay.
Pilecki, did they see this young lady? The police, I mean.
Oh, you mean when she was dropping the? Yeah, that's a good point.
So you
I
want to spend a
mean, okay.
momentum to.
I'm gonna spend a momentum to see if after she drops the stuff in the water that she's rolled up by anybody as she's walking away.
Yeah, as she leaves the courtyard, there's definitely two men that break off and follow her.
Okay. Now, without
Interestingly
spending
enough, though,
momentum,
nobody came to look at the. No one came to look to see what she dropped in the fountain. They probably thought she was just making
right?
an offering. May I, you know.
Okay, that's good. Obviously, because we have to leave. It not spending a momentum. The when I was seeing her in her shop, was it ransacked yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I would.
I
That's just a basic observation. I wouldn't cost you
Yeah.
momentum for that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Unless anybody else has anything else, I'm losing the vision here. Sorry about all the dings. I gotta
I
mute
don't have.
this here.
No, man. Hey, honestly, if we didn't have Pilecki, this would be a totally different game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
Well,
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
useful. I
that
mean,
could be
everyone's
said.
got their niche.
That could be said for Slim too. He quite
Oh, well,
quite
thank
the
you.
distraction.
Grazie, amigo.
I oh god, that's awful. I am impressed at how well it has worked out. I would argue that you guys would find a way, but you guys all definitely played to the strengths of the characters. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
By,
It
by the
is.
way, by the way, Hachi, I will reveal my background is how I knew that was showing my age. It was in a movie called Roman Holiday
Oh. eh,
with Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn,
Oh
and there
my
was somebody else.
gosh.
Uh-huh.
He he
Yeah,
he
let's.
fooled her by sticking his hand in the mouth, and then he freaked her out by pulling out what looked like a stub, but he had pulled his hand up into his sleeve.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's funny.
But I tried not to metagame too much by asking for the guidebook.
Right.
I
No, yeah.
figured there had to
No,
be a
good job.
picture in
That's
the
awesome.
guidebook.
Well, that and
Yeah.
you made the roll, so it's all on the up and up.
It's
Okay.
it is an up and up. All right. Well, Pilecki pushes himself away from the table, like puts his hand or his head in his hands, and takes one hand and starts pointing at Slim and saying, "That bottle you have, give it to me, please, please."
So you need
Well,
to you
sure
need to
thing.
roll damage dice.
Yeah.
Your Now your the cost on your remote viewing is what, 2?
Um, I believe so. Yes.
But you spent 3 momentum to see the history of the item, which ups it to
And a
5.
fourth. Yeah.
Well, I
And
don't
with a
think
fourth also.
does the fourth add to the cost, or is
I
that
think it
just
does.
let's
I
check.
think it does.
Let me. Oh man, you're right. This is gonna take you out for a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's double check this, shall we? just to make sure we're doing it right. It's not. Let's see. I'm in the neighborhood on it.
Yeah, it says cost of remote sensing increases +1 for each momentum spent on any of the options below.
Yeah, but spending the one momentum to ask a question doesn't include that. So
Okay.
it's just the three. So you have to roll
Okay.
5 damage dice.
Okay. Where do I find
Oh
those?
boy.
The easiest thing to do is on the character sheet in the upper right hand corner. There's a button that says damage dice.
Oh, damage. Yeah, there. I see it. Okay. So 5. Holy,
5. Yeah.
Oh boy.
holy
It's an
moly! All
expensive ability,
right.
man. It does cool shit, but it's expensive. Oh wow, you did okay.
Okay.
Do you have courage?
I do.
Okay.
1.
You have all right. You have one. So, unfortunately, one doesn't do you much good because the cost has the piercing effect. So the piercing
Uh-huh.
effect goes through your courage. So you take 2 damage.
Okay.
So just mark off 2 stress boxes, and it does have drain, and there was one effect. So up your fatigue by 1.
Fatigue. Fatigue by 1, and then an piercing injury?
No, no, that's it. You're good.
No.
You don't have any
Oh, good.
injuries.
No
You're all
injury.
right.
Okay.
Because of the fatigue, your complication range on all your rolls is upped by 1. So any roll you make
Right.
till you get rest, you get a complication on 19 or 20. But overall, you came out of that pretty unscathed.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Looks to me like it's tough being a tourist in Rome.
Yes, it is. All right. Yeah, Walter says, "Gentlemen, I need to lay down for a bit," and so I walk over to the chaise lounge and call Luca over to sit by me and sip on the whiskey bottle and gently stroke my dog's head.
Yeah. All right. Very
I think
good.
that probably puts me out of action for a little bit anyway.
Well,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Mechanically speaking, you're actually still pretty functional. But
Okay.
that's up to you. You play
Yeah.
that how
Okay.
you like.
Got it.
All right, gentlemen.
So I think when after he goes to lay down, and Baker, I assume, reveals this information to the party that he has uncovered.
Of course, I show the page in the guidebook to everybody. It has a picture and description and everything.
You sure are clever, Mr. Baker. What do you think it means?
Well, I think it's our next clue that we probably need to go there and see it for ourselves.
Okay. Pilecki, you up for a little walk, or you need a little R&R?
Oh, I think I can manage it, but I think I'm gonna go out in disguise this time, and and bring Luca with, and that'll I'm pretty tired, and so you guys may need to walk a little bit slower and the such to accommodate me, if that's okay.
Roger that. You think we'll find trouble at that there mask?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's trouble all around here now. We have to be careful.
Yeah, the uh, the issue is we don't want to overtax our friend here. If we need additional, let us say, discernment when we go see then we he's overtaxed. But we should see. We shall see. Um, what is the guidebook? Where does it say this thing is located?
Uh, it is located. Again, it's located a little over a kilometer or a kilometer and a half south of Mussolini's palace. Actually, maybe closer to 2 kilometers. But anyway, in the Santa Maria in Cosmedin. It's a church. Um, it's unusual as far as Rome is concerned because it's actually constructed of red brick and has a large square bell tower with a red brick portico underneath it. The mask itself is on display on the left hand side of the portico before you actually go into the church itself.
Okay. Uh, well, it's not far. Let's go for a leisurely walk.
Side note on the Wikipedia page for
Oh,
the
there is a
mask.
Wikipedia page?
There
Cool.
is, yeah. There's a screenshot of that scene in Roman Holiday.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go to Wikipedia.
So, and while we're getting ready to get up and go, Slim's kind of chuckling to himself, and he looks at Pilecki down on the couch, and he says, Pilecki, you're handy as sliced bread. It strikes me that you're our CNI dog.
Like you laughs.
Nice.
Handy as sliced bread. It's just when you think you've heard them all.
Oh, okay. I'm on Wikipedia. I see it.
Yeah, you have to scroll down a little bit. Um, but it's they have a really good picture of the mask, and it's interesting to me that it's a mask because it's well, my information said it was 6 feet across, but I don't think it's actually that large. But it doesn't change the fact that the damn thing's made out of marble.
It looks pretty big.
It's pretty big. I guess it's a mask by strict definition that it has eye holes, nose holes, and a mouth.
Um, I was looking. Um,
A
I was
mask for an
wondering
elder god.
what does Wikipedia say about it, because oh, how did I end up with Italian on my Wikipedia page? Uh, at any rate, okay, another place on the internet says it could have been a drain cover once.
Well, that might make sense. The thing weighs 2,800 pounds.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's cool.
I guess we're not stealing it.
All right. Well, anyway, thanks for the Wikipedia hint. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So I guess we ought to get on with it.
I can
Yes.
just see it now. You guys go late at night, and you're trying to. All four of you are trying to carry this thing through the city, and God, this thing weighs a ton. Could be worse. How? Could be raining.
we wouldn't carry it. We'd roll it.
You'd roll it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So as the day is getting on, you're getting into the afternoon. It's probably pushing 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Because let's be blunt, you guys have traipsed all over the city at this point. And from your monastery down to the Santa Maria in Cosmedine church is it's about 5 kilometers, which is not a great distance, but it's certainly not right next door either. Uh, the this church is again it's rather large, and it really does stand out from a lot of the other buildings you've seen in Rome because it's built entirely of red brick. As you guys walk down you're walking southeast following the Tiber River, and you pass Tiber Island on your right, and as you pass Tiber Island, you come out and you see this church uh, just a couple hundred meters from the river itself, and the large square bell tower has the portico right underneath it, and that's where the mouth is. It is a church, so there's obviously people coming to visit this legendary item, but there's also people going inside. It is a Catholic church, after all. Um, it is, it's made of marble, and it sits right on top of the. It sits right on top of the capital of a broken Corinthian column. And while there is room to stick your hand in the mouth, the mask itself sits pretty flush up against the wall.
Are there tourists buzzing about?
Probably a few, not as many as when you were further in the heart of the city, because this place is quite a bit south of most of the major tourist attractions. Though if you looked around the corner of the church, you could see the Colosseum about a kilometer in the distance across a wide park.
Okay. Well,
Obviously, the
so
Colosseum probably draws a lot more tourists than this church does.
Slim saunters in. Is anyone else going in with him?
Well, I'll follow. Like,
Going into the portico or into the church itself?
Goes into the portico with
Okay.
To look at this mask,
All right. Very good.
and he goes right up to the little rope. And are there any like guards or anything there?
No, no, and it's not even roped off. It's just there.
Oh, okay. And he looks at Pilecki, and he puts his hand in the thing's mouth, and he says, "I got a small pecker." and and then he pulls out his hand
Yeah.
and laughs.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh,
Like he's trying not to laugh because he shouldn't be seeing those because he's blind.
I guess this shit don't work.
leave it up to you guys to decide whether he's telling the truth or not.
Right.
But maybe it does work.
from whose point of view?
And then he looks back, and then he actually reaches in again and feels around and sees if there's anything in there.
There is not. There's really not a lot of room in there,
Hmm.
because it's really flush up against the wall. So it's really just the hollowed other side of the mouth itself. Yeah, there's nothing in there.
So I hate to be like I don't know spoiler for this game all the time, but the if I just do like the normal remote viewing, it actually lets me see the contents of like say a safe or an envelope or something like that. And since the statement said if you want to take it literally, something behind the mouth. What was the statement again?
No, it was what lies behind the truth that bites.
Right. So I would, I think, be able to see what's behind this mask if I
Well, what's behind the
remove.
mask is a wall of the church.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
because the portico, the way it's set up is that the walls make up the walls of the portico make up the exterior
okay, I
walls of the
see.
church as
So
well.
it might want us. It might be leading us into the church,
Right. That's probably what that means then. Okay.
and that this
Okay.
this this famous tourist attraction or landmark was a clue to find the church without
Yeah, the
saying
church.
the name
Right.
of the
Got it.
church.
Okay. Yeah, you're right about that.
But it didn't hurt
All
to.
right.
It didn't hurt for Slim to see if there was something physically behind it.
Yeah, he's a simple man.
You don't want to. Well, you don't want to miss the obvious.
All right, he
Well, is
you
the
go, you guys.
is it this thing? You said 2,800 pounds. It's is it sitting on the ground and just pushed up against the wall? Is it recessed into the wall? Is
No,
it
it's just flush up against the wall.
so it's flush up? So it's like as if somebody had cut a hole and then set it inside, right?
It looks like it's on like a little plinth.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Assuming it hasn't changed much since 1939.
No, it really, from what my research showed, it's basically in the same place, doing the same thing in the same way.
Okay. All right. Suppose we go share this with the group and then go into the church.
All the inside of the church. It's a large church. Uh, and everything you would expect from a Romanesque uh, Catholic church in Rome. There's not a service specifically going on at this point in the afternoon, but there's all the typical trappings, and there are people in various states of worship, and some people that are just obviously there's a couple tourists in the area that probably came to try their hand at the mask before going inside to check out the church to find it's a church. Uh, no one laughed at my pun. Try their hand at the mask. Um,
I like
Gosh,
that.
yeah,
Oh yeah, girl.
that
We
must
would have
be.
laughed if it had been funny.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. That was painful.
So as the group enters, Slim actually does go and like dip his hand in the holy water or whatever, and like bless himself or whatever, like a showing respect.
All right. So you guys are standing inside this church.
Any
Just
anything anything directly on that wall? That is there any tapestry or anything on that wall that would
So
just
as you turn around and look, there, uh, and I guess I need to ask for an inside observation roll. I'll tell you, just go ahead and make the roll. Inside observation difficulty one, and you've got sight would be the thing, the focus, and you have three momentum. Um,
ironically being the blind guy, you have the best roll for this. So
remember, you're
okay,
just pretending to be blind.
that's right. And you said we had three momentum, but I'm just going to do this observation the way it is.
okay. Um,
Give it a try.
so the way the church works when you turn around, you've got the porticoed entrance that's that the bell tower stands above. One success, perfect. To the right and left of the entrance are two small chapels. Um, to the right and left of the entrance are two small chapels that actually make up share a wall with the porticoed entrance. There is also two small niches to the left and the right of the entrance, not in the chapels itself, but sharing the wall with the door. There's two small niches to the left and the right. Um, Obviously, the not obviously because I probably didn't describe it as you walked in to the church. The face was on the left wall, so obviously when you turn around and you're facing back out the entrance, the chapel on the right as well as the niche on the right would be closest to the mask, if that makes sense.
Do these look like areas that are not supposed to be wandered into by
No,
tourists?
no.
No. Any clergy or authority around?
I probably towards the front of the church, but no one really paying any excess attention to you.
Okay,
I
and
mean
no service going on,
the
right?
mask is again a bit of a tourist attraction, so
Right.
seeing groups like yours come through and looking around may not be the strangest thing to them. And there's no
Well,
service going on at this point in the afternoon, so you're not really disturbing them, if that makes sense.
yeah. So probably should go poke around there,
All right,
see what's in those alcoves. Or
all right.
I don't want to take the lead in this, obviously,
You
because
said
I'm the blind guy. So
The blind guy.
you said you said on either side of the entry were small niches.
Right.
Uh, okay, now I'm cheating because I'm looking at it on internet. But
that's not really
Oh, there's
cheating.
a picture of it on the internet.
um, yeah,
Rule 34, man.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Wikipedia and the page for the Boca,
Oh
and it
yeah,
is,
there it is.
and then you could click on the
Oh,
you
there's a
could,
map.
you could click on the basilica, and then if you click on the picture of the basilica, you can actually hit the little right and left arrows, and there's a whole bunch of pictures of the inside.
Yeah, yeah, and there's the niches. They're kind of shaped like an arch.
right, and they're not. When we say niche, we literally mean niche. They're not giant. Okay.
Who's got the guidebook?
Um,
I guess you
well, I
do
guess I
still.
never gave it back to
Yeah.
anybody. So
So the
Henry,
guidebook informs you that in these two niches are some jet black stones that are uh, not certain what type of stone they are, but legend has it that the ancient Christians used to beat the heads of pagans against these black stones until they converted.
Oh, whoa.
wow, man, the shoe is on the other hand now.
That's right.
Huh. That's a juxtaposition. Um, well, let me invite Singh to step up to the niches with me and just take a quick look. He's the inspector.
Yeah.
I am a trained observer.
Um,
So
insight observation, difficulty one. Sight focus if you have it.
One second, I'm in the middle of something. What?
Nice.
Oh, very good. All right. Um, you would have missed it
Fine.
if not for your excellent observation skills. But you noticed an edge of a piece of paper behind the black stones, the black pagan beating stones, for lack of a better word. They're not actually named. I'm not sure what they have to have an actual name, but I'm not sure what they're called.
Are there people around?
There's people milling about. Yeah.
What is it that's behind
And
the black
I'll
stones? I didn't catch that.
He saw a piece of an edge of he saw an edge of a piece of paper.
Ah,
I'll
okay.
tell Baker there's something there without calling
Baker
attention.
Baker will turn around and face the rest of the church with his back up against Singh's back. And when it looks like the coast is clear, he'll give him a nudge with his elbow so he can grab the paper.
I
Okay.
love that.
And I don't. So I'll wait until everyone is looking at other stuff.
All right. So that's interesting. So to pick the right time, when people are doing other things, I suppose that would be. Um, I'll let you use reason or insight, whichever's better.
Okay.
Um, Probably observation, unless you can think of something better.
Nah,
Okay.
it's got to be observation. If I was doing it myself, if I was going for the paper
You
myself,
would
I
just
would use
stealthily try to do it.
agility and stealth.
Yeah.
But also, I'm trying to use my body to block the view. So first things first. Let's pick the right. See if we've got the right time.
Yeah.
Right. All right. How many momentum do we have?
4.
All right. Well, let's give it a try.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You have 5.
We have
I
5.
didn't
Well,
mark down Khan's one he generated right there.
so I can use one momentum to get an extra die.
Yeah. If you
All
like.
right, I'm going to do that.
All right.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
insight.
By the way, I love how much more liberal you guys are being with the momentum use.
Well, use it or you lose it, right?
That's true. And you got it right back. All right. So yeah, you're as you're watching the crowd, and you after it doesn't take long, probably 30, 40 seconds, you think you see your opportunity as a group of tourists come in through the entrance and pass right between you and anybody else that might be looking. You give Khan a nudge,
Okay.
and nod, you reach in, or Khan, you reach in and grab it. It's a
Sorry, talking to a muted mic. Yes, I do.
it's a small envelope.
I'll just pocket it.
Okay, very
We're
good.
out of here.
All right.
Uh, just for gits and shiggles, let's look at the other niche. Let's not assume that we've got everything we've come for. I'll just take a look at the other niche. It's a big black rock.
Yeah, yeah. Looks just like the other one.
Okay. Um, you know, if I ever go to Rome, I'm gonna have to go see this thing. It's pretty cool. Um,
As
do
well
we see? Do
as well traveled as you are in Europe. Have you not been to Rome?
I've not been to Rome. I've
Hmm.
been to northern Italy, but not Rome.
Gotcha.
Um, all right. As we meander around, we still have to play it up like we're tourists.
True.
So this looks kind of gross. This must be in the church? I'm looking on Wikipedia. Do we see the reliquary of the skull of Saint Valentine?
Oh, nice. That's
That's super
wonderful.
cool.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yeah, where exactly is that located?
I don't know. It's just a
Oh,
close
the
picture.
map's in Italian.
Oh.
That's not helpful.
But it's part of the church, right? It's in there.
Yeah, it's part of the church. Um,
All right. I'm just assuming that if we wander around the church, we're going to see it.
yeah, I think I don't know this for a fact, but I think it's at the I think it's at the far end of the nave, from what I can tell. Oh no, it's in one of the chapels.
Oh, okay.
It's in the chapel on the right side of the far end of the nave.
Oh, way up there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to take us a while to get there, but if we're playing the tourists, we might as well just take a look around. I think we've got what we've come for, but let's not jump to conclusions. Um, uh, what about you, Slim? Are you amazed and agog at this ancient church?
Well, sir, I'll tell you, it's it's a mite bit more impressive than the churches we got in West Texas. But it's all the same guy. And he wanders around, looking around a little bit. He Slim is oddly respectful now that he's in the church. Uh,
I was half expecting Slim to use some sort of colloquialism like gospel mill.
Oh, good.
well, I have some idea about Slim's where it comes from, and
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, culturally, I think beyond the Mexican border, he'd probably be Catholic.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But even not, it shows a respect for somebody else's beliefs, so I appreciate that. Nice.
Gentlemen,
Do we pick up on anything else that's of particular interest other than boy, that skull is creepy?
um, there's the guidebook tells you a little bit about this place. Uh, hold on. Sorry about that. All this pollen, man, killing me. Um, the guidebook tells you a little bit about this place. It was apparently renovated in the 12th century, which is interesting because in your head, red brick is really probably a more modern building material um, than what this building obviously is. Um, but it's been it's been renovated and redone multiple times. Apparently, at one point there's several frescoes that at one point were whitewashed over in the 17th century because they were considered idolatry at the time, but they were since restored. How fascinating! It's actually a really interesting place now that I'm looking at
Yeah, it would be cool.
Okay, well,
I think we should go and take a look at this envelope.
yeah, and since it's not far of a walk, we could Well, we can go any place. We just need to go someplace where we don't have people breathing down our neck, right? So let's do that.
Yeah, I don't think that would be too hard to accomplish.
On the
Uh,
way out, on the way out, Slim does a double take at the confession booth, and then decides against it and follows the group.
um, yeah, so you like you said, you guys can go anywhere, but anywhere you would like to go at this point.
No, let's go have a seat somewhere and we can take a look at the
Yeah, it's a
envelope.
beautiful Italian afternoon, so um, uh, opening the envelope, as you would probably imagine, there's a piece of paper inside, because that's what you put inside envelopes.
Are we doing this just outside, or are we back at the safe house, or you guys want to go get some lunch?
I just thought we'd do it out. We can just do it outside. We just make sure there's not
Gotcha.
anybody eyeballing us.
Yep.
It does. Lunch does sound like a good idea.
Did you guys see that?
See what the did you gonna flip the tab back to the
Affirmative.
oh, here we go. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good.
So it says, for those of you on YouTube who are watching this later, in case you can't read it, or if unfortunately you're of an age where you don't read cursive writing, it says P taken to Regina Coeli. Coeli, I don't know how to pronounce that. Moved to see Santa road crew. Archaeologists present appear to be looking for something. Germans have arrived. Strange badge on uniform. Bodies from the site taken to Tiber Island Hospital. And that word is, I believe it's, God, I'm not going to pronounce
Wow.
this correctly.
It's hard to read, frankly.
Well, it seems to be someone's hurried handwriting. That word is, shoot.
I- Huh.
Esculapius. I'm not saying that right, I know, but and then with a question mark, and then it says situation escalating, sent for help.
So P is obviously Pasquino. Bodies. So the Tiber Island. Okay, so we have lots of clues here, guys. Nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
What's funny is Tiber Island is like right over there.
I know.
So is Regina? I'm sorry, I was thinking out loud. Is Regina Coeli a person or a place?
I think it's a place.
Santa Road Crew. Wonder what that's a reference to.
Well,
So they're digging something out of the ground. Something with bodies.
What is that word? I'm transcribing this into my notes. Esculap. I know you pronounced it earlier, but
yeah, well, I'm sure I pronounced it wrong, so I don't think we really want to go by my pronunciation.
gotcha.
But yeah, it's spelled Aesculapius.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. However exactly you pronounce that, I'm not going to.
Is that an
Are we
actual
supposed-
modern place, the Tiber Island Hospital, or is that some kind of
No,
archaeological place?
actually, it is. The Tiber Island Hospital, which of course, I mean, literally, Tiber Island is from the church where you guys recovered this. Tiber Island is like literally in a straight line about a half mile away. It is in the middle of the widest part of the Tiber River, and there's a road with a, or I should say, there's a pair of bridges that connect, um, that connect the coast of the river to the island itself. Um, yeah. So,
How far away is that?
well, assuming you guys just kind of went outside and a little away from any crowds, maybe you just walk to the edge of the river where people are just strolling by, going from one place to another. The island itself, you can actually see it from here. It's about a half mile away up the river. The actual bridge on your side of the river is probably also about a half mile away. If you just follow the river, you actually reach the bridge that crosses
Okay,
over to the island.
so it's like right here,
Yeah,
and
it's
the Regina, that area where the road crew is. Do we know? Do we have any idea or in game where that would be? I mean,
um
like, do our characters know enough
well,
about?
I don't think anyone invoked the truth that had a truth that they knew Rome. But you guys do have five momentum, so you can spend momentum as to obtain information, or you can any other way you want to come up with to try to come up with the information. But I
Eh,
mean, you can spend a momentum for one momentum for obtain information to give you whatever you're asking. Basically, is
oh,
what it
just
is.
one momentum can do that, and we
Yeah,
got four.
yeah, you've five. Yeah.
So again, I wouldn't mind remote viewing this history of this letter to get an idea of like the situation under she was writing this. I'm guessing this is Lucretia, right? In
Well,
her,
it's not. It's
we
unclear to me.
it's unclear to that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
and the message in the leaf was punched in with a needle and was done in kind of block writing, whereas this is
this
obviously
is yeah.
handwritten. So,
Well, yeah, but you can't really just do script. Well, I guess you could do script when you're punching, but
Well,
um,
I'm all right. Go ahead. I'm
yeah, let's spend one momentum to, if nobody objects to, so that we know where these places are at least, right? So we don't have to
oh
go
here's
unless it's in the guidebook. I mean, look in the
oh,
guidebook.
well, I don't
well,
I've got a struggle. I've got a metagame problem.
Go on.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Or
was raised Catholic,
mhm.
Hmm.
so I know the reference to the Regina Coeli, but it's not a place.
Uh,
But this makes it appear that it's a place.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to stay quiet.
it
Go ahead.
literally means Queen of Heaven, but
It means Queen of Heaven, but it's also a prayer. Um, all right. Let's get
Interesting.
on with it. There could be it could be referring to a place and not the prayer. Actually, a chant, I think. Or anyway, go ahead. Do your thing. Let's use the momentum. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. So, I guess you giving us knowledge of we
so
get. Go ahead.
yeah, that's fine. So using a
Hold
point
it.
of
I want to say I was metagaming. I personally was raised Catholic. Baker would have most likely been Lutheran given his German descent. So he may or may not have remembered that as a
Right.
prayer.
yeah,
I think it's adjacent enough.
and Poland is a very Catholic
Uh,
country, but
Absolutely.
there's also an amount of Eastern Orthodox there as well,
Hmm. Yeah.
or Greek Orthodox because of the similar. They're all related religions in the end.
Yeah.
So using a point of momentum to do the obtain information spend, Regina Coeli actually and narratively speaking, you're probably using the guidebook to come to this conclusion. But there actually is a place called Regina Coeli, Queen of Heaven Prison, um,
How do you like that?
That's
uh,
proof. What a great name for a.
which was originally established as a convent, and it is now a prison on the west bank of the Tiber River. And it's to give you an idea, it's probably about 1.5, 2 kilometers up the river from Tiber Island. You guys probably more or less passed it on your way down here, to be honest about it.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's what I'll give you for that. The So if you want to ask additional questions, it just costs you one momentum per thing you want to know about, within reason, of course.
Uh, so do we know anything about what is that? C cent A? Is
Yeah.
that how? It's an abbreviation, maybe?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
So, does this make it seem like an agent has been infiltrated into the prison, put on a road crew that works this archaeological site? Or is that
Ah,
reaching? Because P could be the agent, right? Pasquino or whatnot, taken to Regina Coeli, which we now know is also prison. Moved to Sisenta road crew, right? So maybe they do like work crews, like a lot of prisons used to.
sure.
Maybe this
Gang
is
gang.
the rest of it's a report from him. Archaeologists present appear to be looking for something.
Yeah, that's a good. You picked up on that, Sharif. That might be that might be what it's saying. Uh, Taken though, taken to.
So maybe they're observing this person from afar if they're on a road crew.
Well,
Like if he's been taken to the prison, though, I doubt.
no,
Like
he
if
was
he,
taken to the prison. What I take this as, he was taken to the prison, and then he was put. It says moved to, but basically put on a road crew. So there might be prisoners working on this road crew,
that's what I'm suggesting.
Right.
That
right?
he's been
And then
assigned to a work.
archaeologists are present, and they're looking for something. So the road crew maybe unearthed something, or
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're doing the
Right.
labor for an archaeological site,
Yeah, but
and
that's
he's
assuming.
infiltrated it, and he's giving reports of what's happening.
Right. That's assuming that that info is coming from him and not from Lucretia. Um, I don't know. I mean,
Like she might be meeting with him somehow and getting his briefs.
right, or he could be smuggling it out, I suppose. But I mean that's a
Oh,
stretch. I mean, I don't know. Is that a stretch to think that a prisoner would be able to communicate that freely with somebody on the outside?
probably.
um, it could be that she has informants in the prison or whatever. So
Yeah,
she obviously, I'm taking this at face value. I think I'm taking this at face value that he
right.
taken by the police or somebody. He's on this road crew. The road crew's doing the work for these archaeologists. The Germans have come with the strange badge on the uniform, which sure sounds like
Wolf knocked
Nachtwolf.
or knocked wolf.
They're digging in the wrong place, indeed.
There it is.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. And then, so, um, so here's what I'm thinking. Then, if I look at this, and I've got a problem because everyone's picture is over the bottom of this. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we've got a clue of the bodies of whatever bodies. I don't know what bodies, but it could be. And we've got that clue at the hospital, so we could go and check that out. And then the other thing is, we don't know where these archaeologists are digging necessarily, but that doesn't mean we can't stake out the prison to see if we can observe the road crew I'm thinking the road crew, they might be at the site full time, or they might be traipsing them back and forth out in the morning and back in the evening.
Do we know what C. Saint A is? I mean, it could be in a different part of Italy for all I know.
Um, I again, I would say by just automatic definition, since I would say no. But you've got 4 momentum you could spend on obtain information, or you could
Correct.
make some sort of roll if you think that would help.
Well, we need to know what C. Saint A is. So yes, I mean, if you guys are okay, we should maybe momentum or something or a roll.
Well, obviously we're at the end of a we're pretty much at
Right.
the end of a scene, so
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So let's burn them. Well, how many do we have? Four now.
yeah, so that would knock you to 3 if you want to do that. So the only thing that you can come up with flipping through the guidebook, it's possible. It seems to make sense that C, because it looks like C Sant A is some sort of. It looks like an abbreviation, obviously. There is a place here in Rome. In fact, it is. In fact, you, based on where your safe house is, you went right by it, pretty much. It's a castle. It's called. It's called Castel Sant'Angelo.
Uh,
It's a. In fact, you remember seeing it now that you're looking at it in the guidebook. You walked right by it. It's a very imposing cylindrical fortress that that was actually built originally as a tomb for Emperor Hadrian.
Oh, that is cool. I'm looking at it.
Um, and I'm going to give you a freebie here, since you guys selected where your safe house is, and basically you will have walked by this place twice. You do seem to remember that there were streets that were closed off near the castle, where there was some sort of road work going on. You weren't
So
able to get close; you were detoured around it.
Dun
But
dun dun.
I'd like to say something to the guys real quick before we proceed down any particular path.
Sure.
Because it seems to me that we can infer that if an agent is in fact like infiltrated into some kind of road crew that's digging this whole thing up, like we're surmising, that they probably have some kind of um, um, what's the word I'm looking for, accomplice that's highly placed that can guarantee that the prisoner gets put, because you would never secret an agent into a prison to do that unless you know that it's going to wind up that way, right? It's not going to, you're not going to do a crime and risk 12
Oh,
months of prison time if you're not
right,
going to be put on the road
right,
crew. So
right.
somebody is making sure that the prisoner gets on it, so they have at least one helpful,
so you're
accomplice.
suggesting that Pasquino is a plant,
Pesquito or whoever, like,
or
you know
okay,
what I mean? Whoever the P stands for is an agent that's been implanted to figure out
okay.
what the hell's going on. So if that's true, though, then somebody is above him making sure that this guy gets moved to the correct road crew, right? So somebody's involved with this beyond just the person writing this note.
No, that's
So
a
it's like
good.
maybe like a resistance or something, and they
Okay.
have what's the word, sympathizers. But the other thing I want to say is that we got to think about this for a second in context of our mission, right? Isn't our mission to help them in the kitchen against the sausages, right? Isn't that? I
Yeah.
mean, isn't that what we're doing?
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I am big time hungry. But if that's what we're, isn't, I'm actually asking for clarification on our mission, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think the bigger issue is that we can't know what aid they need until we actually can find them and get with them.
That's sort of where I'm going with this. For asking for the clarification in our mission, if that's our mission, then possibly the next thing that we should be doing is looking to make contact, because we're freelancing in a situation that we don't understand. So we could like blow things up accidentally, as far as like people's cover or like their investigations. Like, we don't want to
All
be like
right, I
meddling with
understand
something
that.
we don't understand. So if we're trying to help them, if that's our mission, I think our next course of action would be to find, what is it, Lucretia or whoever's writing this stuff, to get involved. Right? There's different accesses to that. We could use remote viewing. We could do what was suggested about watching the prison and following them. We could go to the hospital potentially and ask questions about the bodies. But I think whatever we choose to do, if in fact our mission is to help them, then whatever we do has to be aimed at making contact with them before we start digging too hard.
That makes
I
a lot of sense to me. I think that is a very Inspector Singh thing to bring to the table.
I agree, and
Yeah.
I mean, we got the hint that this is the end of the scene, or close to the end of the scene. If you wanted to do a remote view of the piece of paper for its history, um, maybe it would reveal the location of where she wrote this and give us a way to contact her.
Do you
I
still
lo-
need to rest before you can do that again?
I don't think so, because I'm not burned that much. I've
No,
got 2 stress, no injuries.
And we have a ton of momentum left.
three
We
good.
have three, enough to do this one thing. So, and not really fail.
Well,
Assuming
I'd
your
say
dice roll
this.
works.
I'd say this. If you can do it, and we can get some more information, it wouldn't hurt for us to try and meet her. If we fail or we don't get what we're looking for, then we'll follow the clues we have until we can finally connect with her.
Yeah. So I think
So it
probably,
doesn't hurt.
yeah. So we could do this either in a cafe or we could go back to the safe house because that's near the prison anyway, right? Um,
Yeah, and we're getting near the end of the scene, so why don't we just go back to the safe house
that way,
and
if I'm wiped out, I can just stay there when everything else goes on.
I like that. I excuse me. I'm gonna have to go here in a minute.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, because
I'm right
Do
there.
we want to? Do we want to just table this till the next time?
Yeah, I think that's the best
okay.
way to handle it.
okay.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we can pick up where we left off.
That will work. That
Cool,
will
guy.
work.
Well, thanks for playing, guys. I felt like this was a super productive session.
Yeah, it was. You guys made a lot of headway quickly. That was good. That was good. You guys have moved through
For a
this.
change.
I wasn't going to say that. But no, I mean, you guys traipsed all over Rome in the space of 2.5 hours. I'm impressed. All right, cool. I think I'm good for next Thursday.
I think I am
I am
too.
also good.
All right, cool.
Excellent.
All right, awesome guys. Thanks for playing.
Hold
Thank
on
you
one
all.
second.
Oh,
1 second. Hold
one
on.
second.
Yes, I am good for next Thursday. Also, I have to meet a wedding coordinator at 3:30, but I'm good for next Thursday.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's more than enough time.
Yeah.
More than enough time for me to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even get to. I didn't even mention it, and of course my camera doesn't work. But I'm sitting here behind my computer wearing my Metallica Call of Cthulhu T-shirt, and I'm
Oh.
even wearing my Cthulhu socks. So um,
Awesome.
at some point there might actually be some Cthulhu in Achtung Cthulhu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Hey, if you remember and get a chance, would you just email me your mailing address for you,
oh
Marty?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
All right, cool.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. I will see you later.
All
Cool.
right. Cool.
All right, take
Nice
See
it
you
easy.
game.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.